Hello! Today we're going to focus on a Bible code about a man in the Bible named Methuselah. And he is famous for being the man that lived the oldest. He lived 969 years. But there's another reason why he was a special man, and we're going to be getting into that today. So this table is a skip of 65, and that is significant because if anybody knows about Methuselah, who is right here in the blue, going down to the het, his father was Enoch, and Enoch was 65 years old when he had Methuselah. So that's the tie-in with the number 65. Now Methuselah, besides being the oldest man, he lived during the days that the Watchers came down, that the sons of El came down and commingled with human women. And that story is told in the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, and it's also in Genesis chapter 6. Now Enoch's father, his name was Jared. And here in the brown, we have, starting with the mem, that's from Jared. And in the book of Enoch, it tells us that it was in his days that these 200 Watcher angels descended and came to the earth, to the summit of Mount Hermon. And Jared's name means to descend. And so that's what it signifies. It's about the Watcher angels descending to earth. And Jared was the sixth man, the sixth generation from Adam. And we have the word sixth 2 times in this table. 6 here. And it's also going diagonal. And 6 is the number of man as well. Man was created on the 6th day. So when these Watcher angels came down and found wives from the women on earth, the daughters of men, what it was a breach. And in this plum is the word breach in Hebrew. And that's to break through something, a barrier. And in the book of Jude it says that those angels left their first estate. They should not have come down and mated with human women. In Genesis 6:1 it talks about men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. And the sons of El saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and took them wives, all of which they chose. So the men began to increase, and in this red, these red words, that's men or people. Also civilization is here, and that's in this light green with the white lettering, crossing over Methuselah. The word transubstantiate is in this table, starting here, this yellow with the red lettering, and that's when something changes form. In 2 Corinthians 11:14 it talks about Satan being able to transform himself into an angel of light. So these 200 Watcher angels were able to commingle with humans, and they changed their form. They were no longer just spiritual, but they now had physical bodies in the earth. The word Nephil, that's what you call a descendant of these fallen angels with the human women. So Nephil is in this green with the black lettering. So it's going diagonal starting here, going down this way. And it's also here it is. And this is Hey Nephal, so the giant. And there's one more here, Nephal. And it's sharing the yod with sixth, the word sixth. And if you've read the book of Enoch, you know that the Nephilim, the children of the fallen angels, they had great appetite and lust. 3 times we have appetite or lust in this table, in this mauve here. And here shares the Aleph. And one more time, starts up at the top and cuts through Methuselah. Now, the name Methuselah, it means when he dies, it will come. So the thing that was going to come when he died was the flood. And Noah had to build the ark. And the purpose of this flood was to destroy the whole earth, all living creatures, except for Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, and the animals on the ark. So the name Methuselah is actually a warning to the people. And Enoch spoke about the flood, and his books are very prophetic. And the word prophetic is in the blue, going horizontal. And the word warning is here in the red. So they were given a warning. And Noah was a preacher of righteousness. He tried to warn the people. So these Nephilim were going to be dispossessed of the land, banished from the land. And it's twice here in the pink, that way, and down here, going horizontal. So the flood did come. Flood is here twice, the blue, and a couple rows down, going the other way. And this was a punishment. Punishment is in the orange, starting here. And how long did the flood last? It lasted 40 days. And here we have 40. It's actually in the plain text of Scripture. And then over here as well. And this one says 40 days. And something that the flood caused is the formation of fossils. So fossilization is here in this very dark purple. And here. Okay, so all the fossils that we find in the world, I believe, they were all pretty much formed during the flood, when all this pressure from the water it quickly killed the animals and plants, and that's why we can find all these fossils, even on the tops of Mount Everest, on the tops of the highest mountains. Now, we're going to go into the phase after the flood, and Nimrod was alive after the flood, and he's in this table 3 times, starting here with the noon, Mem, Resh, Daled. Then we have it here, and there's the Daled, and it's sharing the Daled with the final Nimrod, which is here. And Nimrod's name means we will revolt. He's the one responsible for building the Tower of Babel and trying to turn men against Yahuwah. We have the word idol worship here in the pink. It's crossing over Methuselah. So we have God and Goddess 3 times in the table. And that's what the descendants of the Nephilim, they were actually worshipped. They were the Greek gods, and they were demigods. So we have here, going across a skip of 4. It's here, going up diagonal, sharing the Lamed in Methuselah, and that's Hay, and the last one going up this way. Alright, so the Israelites, when they went into the Promised Land, they were to dispossess the Canaanites and the Amorites and the other ites that were in the land. And dispossess, we already looked at that word here and here in the pink. So Amorites is in this table here, crossing over Methuselah. In Genesis chapter 15, where Yahuwah is making a covenant with Abraham, Yahuwah talks about the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full, and this is prophetically speaking about when the children of Israel were going to go into Canaan to dispossess the Canaanites and the Amorites. So they were in the land of Canaan, and they were of great stature. It talks about that in Amos chapter 2, verse 9. People of great stature, like the height of cedars. And roots, or deep-rooted, is in this brown. So the Nephilim were deep-rooted in the population. History isn't really being taught at all about this reality in our past. Twice we have the word Assyrian, and that's in this light teal. It's sharing some letters from some other words here. And we have a second Assyrian here in the teal. And Assyrian is a reference to the Antichrist as well. And here we have Yahushua in the purple. Also we have eclipse in the black with the white lettering. And crossing eclipse is solar in the black with the yellow. And lunar in the black with the pink. So solar and lunar crossing the eclipse. I'm not sure why that's in the table at this point, but that is the table about Methuselah. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. Shalom.